Hey guys, welcome back for part 2 of plateauing in the Amazon Influencer Program. In part 1, we discussed why plateaus happen in the program. And in this part, we're going to be discussing how do you determine what kind of plateau that you're currently experiencing? Because there's different types of plateaus, and you really want to make sure you identify which one you're experiencing, because you want to be able to get to the root cause so you can actually fix it and not just like make more videos and think that that's going to fix the problem. The truth of the matter is that not all plateaus are the same. Because there's different things that can happen to every individual creator on here that might affect people differently, and they don't all have the same fix either. So I see creators that are just like plowing through and making tons and tons of videos and saying, why aren't I making $1,000 more a month? I see people that are just like buying more products and not seeing any results for that. People are stressing themselves out over things that are extremely fixable as long as you know what the cause is. So that's what this video is about. It's about diagnosing exactly what's going wrong in your particular instance, because everyone's an individual and everyone's program is going to be slightly different. The goal of this video is to help you self-diagnose and figure out where you're at in the program, and maybe one of these will ring true for you. So I'm going to walk through the top 3 most common plateaus you might experience in the Amazon Influencer Program. And once you can identify where you stand in the program, and maybe you fall into one of these categories, then part 3 of this series is going to go into how do you fix each of these categories, and how do you move forward and break through that plateau and continue to grow in the program. So the first plateau that I've been seeing, and this is just people that I work with that are involved with the program, and just people that I've discussed and talked to through YouTube and through Facebook groups and things like that, and that's the visibility plateau. That's what I call it. And that's because what happens is these people they're making videos, they're making content, they're putting it out there, and what's happening is they're not getting a lot of clicks, they're not getting a lot of placements, they're not getting a lot of impressions and things like that. And so they'll get some earnings, but the earnings will feel random, and it's not consistent. And so what you're seeing is like some months are good, some months are bad, some weeks are good, some weeks are bad. And usually this is what happens earlier in the program. But if this is a consistent thing for you over the course of time, then this could be a problem. You could be in a plateau right now. If this is your plateau, this isn't really typically an issue with your content. A lot of people fall into the trap of thinking like, oh, my videos are just bad, and that's why Amazon's not putting them in the right spot, or that's why people aren't watching it, and it's just me. And that's not it, okay? Because everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses when it comes to video creation and content creation in general. What I think it is I think that this is more about your product selection. So if you're not getting a lot of clicks and you're not getting a lot of conversions, I think it's more about your product selection and keeping an eye on the carousel that you're choosing, the product that you're choosing, and making sure the carousels aren't saturated, and making sure that the products you get are, have very empty carousels and have high sales. And so I've made other videos about that, about how to select products, and I'll make more in the future as well. But it's really about picking products that have good potential and low saturation in the carousels. And so if you're sitting there and you have a ton of videos out there, but they're just kind of like sporadically making you money, this is probably the plateau you're sitting in. And so in video 3, in this 3-part series, I'm going to be going through, well, how do you fix that? How do you fix this plateau? And how do you start choosing more products that are going to help you break through the plateau? Okay, so the second plateau that I find a lot of people fall into is what I call the conversion plateau. And this is where you're not having the same issue as the first one that I was just talking about. You're getting clicks, you're getting placements even. You have a lot of upper placements, you have a lot of bottom carousel placements, you might even have some both, okay? But your earnings are just not scaling, okay? So this is kind of the sneaky one, because what happens is you think you're doing good because you have all those placements, you're on the good products, but you're not converting a lot. And so a lot of times people think, well, Amazon's just going to figure it out. Eventually they're going to start, sending my video out to people that are going to buy more. And that's not really the issue. The issue here is really your messaging in your videos and the angle you want to take with your videos. So that's like a next level step that you need to take in the program, is just the different messaging that you're going to be coming across in your videos. And it's just slight tweaks that can really up your game in terms of your video and getting people, number 1, interested in clicking on it, and number 2, interested in just putting them over the hump of buying the product. So when they come to your video, they're already in the mindset of they want to buy this product, and they're not sure if you want to buy it. And your job is really to reduce their hesitation on buying it. Your job is to give them some confidence. And when Amazon starts to see that your video is giving buyers confidence, they're going to put your video in prime locations, because if you're starting to convert sales, they want to show your video to more people. Okay, and so again, in this is going to really help if you change the angle in which your video is coming from. Not, hey, I like this mouse, this is a really good mouse, to, okay, I know the questions you have about this mouse, I'm going to answer these questions in this video. That's going to convert more because you're going to be answering specific questions that people have, and that's going to allow them to feel more confident in making their purchase. Plateau 3 is really what I consider the trickiest one, and I feel like I face this constantly, and it's the scaling plateau. How do you scale effectively and not just grow your video library huge, but your earnings aren't really increasing? This is evident if you've had some really good months, but then your earnings sort of kind of like flatten off and they don't really grow. You upload more videos, but you're not seeing more earnings in the program. You're not seeing a higher increase in earnings. This is the plateau that gets a lot of influencers frustrated because you feel like you're doing everything right. You feel like you're getting the product placements. You feel like you're actually converting some videos, but it's not, you're just not growing. So what ends up happening is creators start doing more of what they feel used to work. And that a lot of times this program is ever evolving. So you often have to shift what you're doing and have a specific strategy behind it so that you can move forward and continue to grow. Okay, so this plateau is typically caused by things like content overlap, diminishing returns on older videos, things like that. And so if you have a strategy moving forward, it will help avoid those things or minimize those things, because those things are going to happen anyway, but minimize those things so you can constantly be turning over and having new evergreen videos that will continue to earn you more money. So as you have things that are kind of scaling out because they're older products or the returns are just diminishing, you're going to have new products to replace those. And the easiest example I could think of is like seasonal type things. You know, you might have a seasonal type product like a Christmas tree that does really well and helps you Q4 in a particular year. And then January, February, March comes along, no one's buying Christmas trees. Well, yeah, you're going to have diminishing returns from that, and you're going to see your sales start to either flatline or even go down. And now it's like, if you don't have a strategy going forward, that's going to really hurt your growth. And so the whole point of this plateau is getting through this plateau is having a strategy moving forward so that you can continue to grow, even though the year goes on and then different seasons change. So here are the 3 questions you want to ask yourself if you want to diagnose which plateau are you in the Amazon Influencer Program. Now, if you're not hitting any of these and you're just continuing to grow, drop a comment below and let me know what's your secret, because I'm always hitting one of these. And so I'm always trying to push through, especially number 3, I really struggle with. So here are the 3 questions you're going to ask yourself. And the first no you hit, then you've already identified your plateau. So the first question is, am I getting clicks? Am I getting a lot of clicks? All right. Am I getting a lot of impressions on my videos? If that's the case, if you are getting a lot of clicks, okay, great. If you're not, okay, so you're in plateau number 1. You can easily diagnose it, and now you can move forward and try to fix that. Okay. Number 2 is when you are getting those clicks, if you are getting clicks, are those clicks converting? All right. Are you generating sales from these clicks? So if you have a certain level of clicks, right, you know, on the Amazon Influencer earnings report, you could see how many clicks you're getting. Right? Are your clicks remaining consistent and your sales are going down? Are your clicks remaining consistent and your sales are going up? Right? See what's going on. Are more clicks turning into more commissions for you, or it's just higher clicks but then similar commissions or lower commissions? All right. So if the answer is no, your clicks aren't converting, well, yeah, now you're in plateau number 2, and that's your diagnosis, and you can move forward and start to fix that problem. Now the third one, this is the one I struggle with, is when you upload more videos, are your earnings actually scaling? And if the answer to that is no, and sometimes that's the trap I fall into, is I upload more and more and more, and my earnings aren't actually scaling, well, then you're in plateau 3. In the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the exact fixes that I've done research on to figure out, well, how are we going to break through these plateaus? What are you supposed to change to break through the plateau? What should you stop doing to break through that plateau? And where do you not want to waste any of your time? So that's going to be the next video. So if you don't want to guess anymore and you want to know exactly how you can continue to grow in the Amazon Influencer Program, subscribe to my channel, go check out part 3, and you can see the exact fixes that I have listed here for each plateau. And I promise you they're going to help you progress in the Amazon Influencer Program.